Hey guys, you're back with Steph Den, and today we're finally talking to you all about Questrade. As you likely already know, I've been investing with Wealthsimple this year, utilizing both their invest and trade platforms. And again, if you haven't seen that video of a review of the Wealthsimple platform, we'll leave that in the links below for you to check out after this video. But Den, on the other hand, is utilizing Questrade to build up his investing portfolio. So today we're going to take you through the pros and cons of Questrade, a full walkthrough of the platform online, also how to set up your account, and just generally how the experience is compared to mine so far. So if you're excited for this video and more investing content coming your way, show us some love down below, hit the subscribe button, and let's dive into it.
Okay, so we're gonna kick things off with the pros and cons. And in general, if we're starting off with the pros, Questrade definitely has a low fee account structure. And if you don't believe me, reach out to one of your friends who trades with one of the banks and they will tell you how much they pay in those commissions for those trades. You know, in theory, it sounds really great to have all of your money in one place, meaning if you have a checking account with a specific bank, you then have your investment account with that same bank, so all your money's kind of pooled together. But at some point, the cost definitely outweighs the hassle of having to fund, a Questrade or another online brokerage. So when it comes to actual cost, if you're just trading ETFs, those are completely commission free on Questrade. However, if you're making other trades, so for example, buying stocks, you will be charged anywhere from, I believe, $4.95, so around $5, to somewhere around $9.95 or $10, depending on the type of trade. And another point on the fees, for the most part, most people will only ever be charged $5 at one time when you're making your trades, unless you're buying thousands, and I mean thousands of shares, which also cost thousands and thousands of dollars, which most people aren't typically making at one time. And another thing that makes me really appreciate Questrade is the fact that you can hold US currency within your accounts. So the reason this is great and the reason it keeps coming up is because Wealthsimple actually doesn't currently offer this, and it basically allows you to keep your US investments in US dollars and your Canadian investments in Canadian dollars, basically saving you that currency exchange fee of having to go back and forth, whether it's you buying the stock or you getting paid out a dividend in US currency and having to have that changed back to Canadian, right? Another thing to mention in terms of currency exchange is the fact that on Questrade, you can use Norbert's Gambit. And I know we've kind of mentioned it before. And if you guys want to hear more about it, let us know in the comments down below. But basically what Norbert's Gambit allows you to do is exchange your Canadian dollars to US dollars all for free. So if you're someone who's not just going to be buying your home country stocks, or in this case, Canadian stocks, and you want to buy those US companies as well, there are some nuances to this that we can definitely dive deeper on in a future video. Another pro, and this is definitely something that I realized this past week when me and Steph were both funding our accounts, is the fact that there's less of a wait when it comes to funding your account. So over the last couple of weeks when Steph was going to fund her Wealthsimple account, it took a legit 3 days to actually get the money from her bank to her trade account on Wealthsimple. Whereas for me, typically by the next business day, I'm good to go and my money's in the account. And the last thing that I want to mention is that Questrade has a $0 inactivity fee or a maintenance fee. Basically, all this is a charge that a lot of the brokerages used to get you with for either not using your account enough, or in general, just charging you some, BS quarterly maintenance fee, $25 here and there. I know that a lot of the banks have gotten rid of this fee, meaning if you have, let's say, like over 25K, then you're good to go. They won't charge you. But to me, honestly, that's just another cop out. Like, why can't you just make it $0 for everyone and level the playing field? Why is it that I get a certain deal because I have more money than someone else?
Okay, so now let's talk about the cons for Questrade. So the first one is fees, and although they are less than some of the other major brokers, you do have to pay a $5 commission fee for all of your trades. And again, keep in mind that that is not the case over at Wealthsimple. The second one is that you do need a minimum of $1,000 in your account in order to start investing. So you can technically go through all the steps, open up your accounts, but in order to actually kick anything off, you can't start with $100. You have to start with $1,000 before you get any trades done. Again, that's still a low number in the grand scheme of things, but if you are completely new to investing and you don't have that $1,000 to start off with, you would have to wait until that point in order to use Questrade. So the third con is going back to fees, but specifically ECN fees, which stands for Electronic Communication Networks. It's also a fee that's charged to you in order to actually connect the brokerage to the market. In most cases, you actually won't be charged these ECN fees on your trades. Sometimes you will, and even if you are, they only work out to be a couple of cents. So again, nothing to be super concerned about. Basically, instead of that $5 commission trade, it might be $5 and a few cents. So again, they're very small, and if you are charged it, it typically works out to 0.0035 cents per share. And the fourth and final con that we have for Questrade is about the interface. So it is a little bit of a less simple and straightforward interface compared to what we've shown before on the Wealthsimple side of things. Again, there's a ton of value to get there. There's a lot of different pieces that we'll show you in the walkthrough that are great about the platform, but it's maybe not as simple as intuitive if you're completely new to investing. It's not necessarily as pretty in design as well. So those are something to keep in mind if that matters to you.
All right, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna actually jump into the platform. I've got it all set up and ready to go. We're gonna do a full walkthrough. If you guys have any questions, once again, make sure you let us know down in the comments below. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna kick off here with the login page. So as you can see here, classic, just enter your username, password, and then you click login. So the first thing that pops up here, I guess, is like the main dashboard, which is basically a summary of everything within your account. Now, if we scroll down here, what you're gonna see is you're gonna see new accounts and you're gonna see what my actual account is currently. Now, going back to this, what we have here, once again, on this page, you're not really gonna be doing anything here really for the most part. So if we scroll up top here, you're gonna have your reports, you're gonna have your account management, you're gonna have your funding and your requests. So reports, this is where you're gonna go for any account activity. If you wanna see how your portfolio is doing, any tax slips that you need for tax time. In terms of account management, this is where you're gonna find a lot of the forms, any market data that they have. For funding, this is where you're gonna go to actually fund your account, and we'll get into that in a second here. And then requests, once again, if you do wanna exchange your Canadian dollars to US dollars, this is where you're gonna go. So in general, this is sort of the feel once you actually log into the account. And what I'm gonna do now first is I'm gonna go here to reports and I'm gonna go investment summary so you guys can see what that looks like. So when we come to investment summary, you can see that it's giving me a summary of what I have in my TFSA currently. It's telling me the stocks and the cash value and the makeup of that within my portfolio. So if we scroll down, you can actually see what holdings that I have within this account right here. Really just a small little breakdown here. But if we go over to account activity, this one's actually cool because it gives you a breakdown of all the different activities and all the different trades, what's been going on within your account. So as you can see here, I've made 3 separate trades, 3 separate deposits, and I've had apparently 4 FX conversions. So that's CAD to USD. As we can see here, this is sort of a breakdown of what's been going on within the account. So yeah, this is pretty cool. And the reason it's cool is because if you're someone who has a lot of dividend paying stocks and you want to see when those dividends are coming in for what amount, you can actually come into the activity and break it down based on those specific payments. So no dividends yet, so I can't actually show you guys that right now, but this is where you would go. So if I scroll up to see how you actually fund the account, I can actually, go up here, go to funding, and it shows me exactly what the options are and ways that I can actually fund the account. So I can go online banking, and if we click that, let's see what it brings up. So what you can do here is you can actually select your financial institution and click on funding. It'll bring you up to a different website for your actual financial institution, and you can fund directly through that site. What is interesting is that because I'm with Simply, every time you click Simply Financial in the dropdown, what happens is that it takes you to the CIBC website, which is super annoying. For those of you who don't know, CIBC owns Simply. I'm hoping that that's something that they can fix. So what I've been currently doing right now is funding my account through a bill payment. So I'll go over to the Simply website and I've actually added them as a payee. So anytime I want to add money to the account, I'll just, kind of like a bill, I'll throw some money in there and send it off. What we can do now is we can actually scroll up here to requests. Something that I want to show you guys is actually how you exchange your Canadian dollars to US dollars. I can actually go here and I can go exchange funds. And once it pops up here, you can actually designate what the transaction is going to be, CAD to USD, USD to CAD. In this case, we want USD to CAD. And you can specify the amount that you want to buy. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna actually navigate to the trading dashboard, which will probably be where you spend most of your time. So how do you get there? You can get there in a number of 2 ways. So you can go here to accounts and you can either click trading, or you can click this green button here and it'll take you to that same place. Okay, so after we click trade, what happens is it brings us to this, dashboard that we have here that shows you another summary of all the different things that are going on within your account. Essentially what you can do here is you can also navigate here to see your position. So this would be all the companies that you have a position in that you've purchased. So for me, I've only got these two companies. I've got Algonquin Power, and I've also got C3 AI, which I mentioned in one of our last videos. So hopefully you guys caught that one. Anyways, before I show you guys how to actually buy a stock, what happens is whichever stock you're trying to buy, that order shows up here, and it shows up as an open order or either an executed order that's complete. So that's also something to keep in mind here. So what I'm gonna do now before I show you guys how to actually buy or trade a stock is I'm gonna go here to the watch list. So similar to Wealthsimple, your watch list is where you can have all the different companies that you wanna keep an eye out on. So for the sake of this video, I've added a bunch of these companies here. And what you'll notice is, unlike Wealthsimple, this obviously isn't very pretty. Like, this does not look visually appealing. It's not as easy to navigate. I think that's one of the that's one of the updates that I want to see from Questrade. I just want their platform to also have some more user friendliness to it. But anyways, if I click into one of these companies here, Royal Bank of Canada. So what this gives us, it gives us the price here. If you want to buy it, you can buy it there. If you want to add it to your watch list, you can click the little plus button here. If you want to see a graph of how things are looking, we can actually jump right into this graph, and you can also see the different movements in terms of volume and activity. So the red candle wicks would be all of your sell orders, and the green candle wicks would be all of your buy orders. Okay, so now that we're done here, what I'm going to show you guys now is I'm actually going to show you how to place a trade if that is what you want to do. So what you'll notice is I'm not going to go over any of these because they're not really relevant to what we're doing here. So if we want to place a trade, we can actually just pop over here and enter whichever company we want to buy. So for example, if I want to buy shares of Air Canada, I'll just, either type in the stock ticker, or if I know what the stock ticker is, then I can just, pop down here and click ac.to. So AC is their ticker on the New York Stock Exchange, but ac.to is their ticker on the TSX. So if we look here, we can actually see the quantity, the order type, the limit price, and the duration. So quantity, pretty simple. How many shares do you want to buy? Order type, what type of order you want to buy? For me, I typically use limit orders, so that's why it's already on a limit order. And then with the limit order, you specify the price. So once again, let's say I want to buy these shares at $30 a share. So what I would do is I would actually scroll down here and look at my balance, right? So what is my buying power? Meaning how much money can I actually use that's available in cash? So here we can see it's $664. So what I'm gonna do, 664 minus $5, that gives me how much money I have to spend. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna divide that by the last price, or the $30 that I wanna buy these shares at, right? That will give me the quantity of shares that I can afford. So once you have that, you're good to go. And then you'll send your order to the market. And once you send your order to the market, your order will pop up here, like we said before. And then once it's executed at whichever point in the day, then you're pretty much good to go. Hopefully that was a good walkthrough. If there's anything else you guys want me to cover in a future video, please let me know down in the comment box below and we will get back to you. Now I'm throwing it over to Steph, and yeah.
Okay, so last up, let's cover how to actually set up an account and get started with Questrade. The first step is to access the site. We will have a link at the very top of our description box that you can follow to access it. And basically you'll get $50 in commission-free tradings once you do set up an account. Then once you're there, you're gonna start off by selecting the account you actually want to invest with. So they give you the options of a TFSA, an RRSP, or a margin account. But if you're also interested in an LIRA or an RESP, multiple other accounts that we'll throw up here for you too, they've definitely got those as well. The second step is setting up your user ID, and then all the classic steps like your security questions and personal information, different things like that. That's the next piece that you'll be walked through. The next piece is actually starting to build out your Questrade portfolio. So for this part, you will need your financial, your employment, your citizen information, all of the important stuff. And make sure you get all your personal, financial, employment, citizen information, all of that correct and accurate. It can be harder to go back and fix that stuff later on. It's kind of the baseline for your portfolio and your account setup. So make sure you have that down pat and you take your time with that piece. Also keep in mind that if you're married or in a common law relationship, you'll need your spouse's information as well, because Questrade needs that to actually keep in line with these securities regulations. So once you've completed all of those steps, you're pretty much done with your Questrade profile, and it's time to actually set up your new accounts. Here you'll have to complete 3 more more steps, which is your account details, consent and communications, and also persons with financial interest. So for the account details portion, they'll ask you what the purpose of your account is, what you'll be using it for. They'll also ask you if you're interested in trading options. And again, we did do a previous video all about options, so if you're interested in checking that out and learning more, we'll link that above for you. And we'll also talk about why we're personally not doing it. Keep in mind that if you're looking for long-term passive investing, ETF investing, or you're just starting out, anything like that, it's probably not what you're looking for to start out. So again, once you're done with the account details and those other few steps, you're finally getting to the signing of the documentation. So Questrade will pop up those digital documents on the screen for you to sign in a few different places as you move through it. So the last couple of things you need to do, we're getting to the end here, is upload a government-issued photo ID of yourself. So it could be a driver's license, a passport, a PR card, anything that you ensure has your photo, your signature, and is not expired. So once all that is good to go, approved, verified, completed, you're ready to actually start investing and trading with your account. Keep in mind that you do have to actually fund it with $1,000 to start off, so keep that peace in mind, but afterwards you are good to go and ready to get started.
Alright guys, that's a wrap on this video. We hope that you enjoyed seeing a full demo of Questrade, how I'm liking it, how it compares to Wealthsimple. If you guys have any questions at all, or if you know of any cool features, if you are someone who's been using Questrade for a while, let us know down in the comments below. I'm sure I'd love to hear them. Other people would love to hear them as well. Also, don't forget, if you're interested in opening an account, we do have a link in our description box below. If you use that link, you'll get $50 worth of commission-free trades. Let's go. As usual, if you haven't checked out some of our previous videos on money, investing, all the above, make sure you check them out next door. And we'll be back with some heat. You already know. Let's go.